My name is Harry Jacobs, and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and today we are doing 2 in 2, where I contrast and compare two games in about 2 minutes. Today in about 2 minutes, we are going to contrast and compare Dungeons of Infinity by Jack Spoerner and Dungeons and Dragons by WizKids. Both games are for 12 and up. Both games have a player count of 1 to 5. Both games are cooperative. However, Dungeons of Infinity also can be competitive as well. Both games are soloable, and they both play in about 60 to 120 minutes. One of the major differences, this is very much a gateway game. If you enjoy Dungeons and Dragons or are not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, this is a lightweight filler game that can be put onto the table in a few minutes, and you can have an adventure that is different each and every time because you build your map as you go along. This is actually the same mechanic here in Dungeons of Infinity. We actually shuffle our maps up, we have a starting point, and we build the map as we go along looking for the different quests and items that we are looking for to fulfill quests to finish the game. Both games can be campaign-like. Both feature high fantasy, orcs, goblins, mists, traps. You can loot dead bodies. You can look for chests. You can walk into the mist. And I can tell you from this game's perspective, if you walk into the mist, it is never good. Dungeons and Dragons, you are basically in Castle Ravenloft. Basically, you are going to be encountering almost every turn without fail. There is always, I'd say, 95% of the time you're either going to encounter a trap or a monster in which you're going to have to fight off. Generally, it is a fairly easy game to play, and killing the monsters isn't that hard. However, once the big ultimate monster comes on, like Count Ravenloft himself, it's pretty much game over, unless you're trying to race to an exit. Which I did on the last time I played through it, and there is a playthrough available on my channel, and I will link it at the end in the thumbnail. Dungeons of Infinity, very, very similar. There is a complete campaign game. There is more variety in Dungeons of Infinity than Castle Ravenloft. However, Dungeons of Infinity is not a lightweight game. It is very much a heavyweight game with a lot of rules, and you will be referring to the rule sets much more often than you will be for Castle Ravenloft. So what should you be purchasing when you go into the store and saying, I really like to get a dungeon crawler? These are two fine examples of dungeon crawlers. Filler. Heavy. Now, I wouldn't say this is Vita Lasarda heavy at 4.63, but I would say this is 3.25 out of 5, where this is 2.2 out of 5. That is a big, huge difference. Very easy to play and teach. Not as easy to play and to teach. Castle Ravenloft in Canada runs about $80. Dungeons of Infinity, if you can get a copy, it's about $60. Now, I will say that Dungeons of Infinity is coming to Kickstarter on September 7th, 2021, and it will have a new print, new art, new boards, and a new expansion. Dungeons and Dragons Castle Ravenloft has been expanded, not really expanded, but been added to with different module standalone games that can be mixed and matched. So there is no expansion to say, but each other game is not only standalone, but you can mix up the tiles and the characters and the monsters. But again, it doesn't lose its ease of play. Move, encounter, fight, the end. Move, encounter, investigate, go back, sell. Anything you would think you would do in a dungeon, this is what you're going to do in Dungeons of Infinity. It's not just an adventure, and it's far more replayable, in my opinion, than Castle Ravenloft. But if I was going to teach somebody, I'd probably go to Castle Ravenloft first, so they get an idea of what dungeon crawling is all about. That is 2 in 2. This is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. If you like what you saw, subscribe, like, hit the bell, any of those things. Put a comment down below if you agree. Do you have another dungeon crawler that belongs in this mix? Let me know. The new Descent certainly is looking very, very good. I've just ordered it, so I will let you know how that goes. Look for other types of videos that are coming up. I have a couple of Kickstarter exclusives coming, so hold on to your hat.